please welcome the joint CEO of Collinson Group, Christopher Evans, for a conversation moderated by Skift Senior Travel Tech Reporter, Sean O'Neill.
Well, Christopher, thank you for joining us from the UK for Skift Global Forum.
Hi, Sean. Great to be here. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yes, I think our topic for today became a lot more timely in the past few weeks here in the US because a few of the major US airlines decided to securitize their loyalty programs. And as a result of that, they released documents that release details about how valuable these loyalty programs are for them. I think Delta in 2019, about half of its net income came from its loyalty programs. And we heard earlier at Skift Global Forum that the president of JetBlue was saying JetBlue was considering doing a similar effort. So do you feel like these kind of movements sort of shines a light about how loyalty can sort of help brands foster a recovery?
I think without a doubt, this has really brought to life the value and importance of the programs, both in how they drive the right engagement for customers, but also the commercial value. And really, where at times there's been some push and pull between the different stakeholders within airlines, this really is where we're starting to see the true value shine through, and the opportunity that it presents actually.
So it's great. So, I mean, one of the things that also came up is the cancellations, that were mass cancellations in the industry earlier this year. How did that impact loyalty programs?
I think it's an opportunity for programs and brands to shine or to fail. And I think the challenge is people will build up inherent loyalty over years. And this is a real pressure point. This is a period of high emotion, of a lot of tension and anxiety, and how programs and brands respond to that really carries additional weight at this time. So those that responded well and moved quickly, reassured customers, provided flexibility, will benefit. Those who have been slow off the mark and have struggled to manage the demand have perhaps put restrictions and challenges in place for people moving flights, moving bookings, will work against them. And they really will take some time to come back from that and rebuild that trust. And trust is critically important at this time.
Yeah, I mean, I found even for my personal stuff, I'm platinum status in one major airline here, and I was so frustrated with the cancellations process. I've actually shifted away my spending out of the co-branded credit card that I had been using heavily as sort of like a small sort of revenge. But I'm wondering, Collinson Group, you guys own a Priority Pass, which offers lounge access at airports worldwide. And you recently did a survey, I believe it was of 22,000 members. So what is on the minds of consumers right now?
Well, I think the positive we can all take away from it is that there is a demand and a desire to travel. So we saw the majority, 77%, are keen to get traveling again. I thought interesting. We're seeing people getting on planes to go nowhere at the moment, just because there's a desire to travel, which is fascinating. Equally, the apprehension is a lot around the restrictions and the speed of restrictions, particularly from governments that are coming forward. So people can't plan; they have no certainty, which brings us back to the need for flexibility from the bookings that give the trust and confidence to book and travel. The other bit that we've seen is really interesting is a clear desire for contactless. So 80% were keen to look at contactless payments. We've accelerated our ability to sign into a lounge contactless. Our partner, we've been working with Grab, looking at how they can move from ordering food on kiosks to doing it dynamically from the app. So
Grab, for people who, excuse me to interrupt, Christopher. So Grab is a mobile airport food ordering app, and Collinson invested in it a couple of years ago, right? And sorry to interrupt, but just so people know.
Yeah, indeed. So I think that's been very much a growing unit. So a lot of interest around how you can improve the experience through traveling at the airport. A lot of focus had been on a kiosk, which kind of shortens queue times and has a lot of benefit to the merchant and consumer. But clearly, in a period where people don't want to touch, you have to move to a contactless opportunity, and they've done that, as have we, which is clearly the demand. So I think that's some of the key insights that we've had, and people are looking for reassurance of personal security when they travel. They're looking for signature cues that reassure them that the environments are safe, have been cleaned, and they're looking for additional space. So we know that people are still keen to go into a lounge where they know there's a protected environment where the right standards are applied consistently.
All right. And so for our attendees here at Skift Global Forum, we have a poll that's launched. Please participate, sponsored by AIG. The idea is the loyalty programs in travel, how well are they compared to other loyalty programs? Retail, e-commerce, even, your favorite coffee shop loyalty programs. Are they at par? Are they ahead of the curve, or are they behind? Interested to hear your views on it for all of our attendees. Now, there's a lot of pent-up demand, it sounds like, is what you're saying from the survey results that you had there. But we're still a lot of us are grounded. We still have to come into the recovery. I was talking with my colleague, Brian Summers, who's a Skift Airlines reporter, and he was saying that he really hopes 2021 is going to be the year of the premium leisure traveler, that segment of customer is going to be wooed and get a lot of juicy benefits from the loyalty programs. You don't have to agree with that, but I would be interested in your take of what segment do you think of traveler is going to sort of be very wooed by loyalty programs soon?
I mean, I think I'd agree with that. We're certainly seeing from our own survey results, which will typically talk to the more frequent affluent traveller, that's where a lot of the demand sits. It's also where we have people with the financial capability to bounce back more quickly, certainly with more economic pressure that we'll see. We're also seeing there is pent-up opportunity for loyalty currency that's been accumulated. So where people are quite confident around an airline or a group, some of those are holding onto their currency. They see opportunity and discounts on the horizon and are waiting for that. And that, I agree, that's where there'll be appetite for people to move quickly. They're the people that historically have always traveled, and there is a lot of appetite out there when it's safe to do so, and importantly, when the regulation allows people to do so, to get traveling again.
Okay, I want to talk about paid loyalty programs, because Skift this year, one of the megatrends we've been watching is how the subscription model might apply and sort of help foster a recovery in travel in some ways. But paid loyalty programs, they've been around for a little while. Christopher, do you feel like they're vaporware, or are they legit? Can they really add value?
We advocate they are definitely something that can add a lot of value. What we've seen is it's been a growing area across numerous sectors. I mean, it's well documented, the success and the performance within premium subscription models, particularly those where you're offering a really added benefit, where you're engaging in the program and utilizing that membership. We have proposals already in flight with partners to look to bring those to life. I think what we're seeing at the moment is understandably a lot of need to focus on cost, a lot of need to focus on just keeping things running, because the commercial pressures are huge. We know the industry is really suffering, but without doubt there'll be an opportunity as people return to travel to lock those customers in early, to look at how do you manage perhaps different dynamics of recognizing valuable customers early in the process. Now, the other piece that we know is that putting these programs in place take time, they take planning. And sure. So certainly our call out here is now is the time to actually start planning for the return. Put yourself in the driving seat, be ready to really capitalize on those customers by offering a good experience with what can be quite rich benefits as paid for, and really get ready to fly as people start to fly.
Okay. Now, one thing that Collinson has done for a few years now is you've been trying to help, as a consultant, help travel brands move from a travel-focused loyalty program to a lifestyle-focused loyalty program. You've done this with Air France KLM with their Flying Blue program. You've done it with Accor Hotels with their Live Limitlessly program. So I was wondering, how do you feel like the current dynamics affect the value of that kind of move to lifestyle?
I mean, I think one thing that we've seen is that when people aren't traveling and naturally earning or using their loyalty currency, then they're missing that natural engagement with a brand. There's a chance you lose the customer. We've also seen that where people have invested, and we're running earn malls for partners, it's an opportunity where customers are still engaging in the brand. They're earning currency through an actual online spend, which is increasing at the moment. People are at home, online transactions are up, so it gives more choice and opportunity for the customer, and it's driving ancillary revenue for the program. I mean, now more than ever, clients and partners are looking for ways to try and bolster their income streams, and this is a great opportunity to do that. The other piece that has been a hindrance in the past, where not everyone has optimized that opportunity, has been the communication channels, because the focus has been on how do we drive more additional take-up of flights, of upgrades, of other dynamics offered through the travel journey, which means communication channels are tight. With less of that, there's more opportunity to run that communication and drive those contact points with customers. And that's really definitely broadening an opportunity within travel. And we're seeing actually within financial services, for the same reason, interest in that, where they have lost cross-border spend, which is a strong revenue stream. We can support that and supplement that with cross-border purchasing. And again, you're driving value back to the customer in the program. So if anything, it's an area that we see accelerating. And weaving in the world of payments and the capability that the card linking can bring actually creates more touch points, more opportunity to earn, and actually more regular engagement from your customer. If you have your data,
for people who are listening who don't quite know what card linking is, what do you mean by that?
So this is where we would have a partner that can link their card or their account to a program. They then go and shop at a merchant, and they will earn currency for that transaction. And our role in this is to create kind of the holy trinity, where the customer gets great value because they're getting a reward and a benefit for shopping. The merchant, we're sending and encouraging a customer to them, so incremental spend, quite often from a premium customer, from a frequent flyer program. And then the program itself is, again, earning incremental ancillary revenue and another touch point to the customer. And you're bringing more data points. You have a greater understanding of your customer's behavior when they travel and when they don't travel, which means you can offer better rewards, more tailored offering, and you get a positive cycle continues.
Well, we're going to be having Skift Forum Asia in a few weeks, and my sense is that in Asia, the loyalty programs, in some ways, they're a little bit ahead on some of the points that you were just bringing up here in the past couple of minutes. You know, I think of Cathay Pacific's Air Miles program. I think of Air Asia's program. They're very heavily in lifestyle, heavily in being able to be interoperable, so you can redeem your points otherwise. I believe in Japan, you know, I could stay at an Airbnb and then earn the points and instantly redeem them for a meal at a sushi restaurant or something. What sort of is holding back sort of some of the integrations and innovation here in Europe and the United States?
I think it's been a combination of things. There's an element where you need to establish the model. So what we've seen is the online affiliate model is well established. The proof points are there and are clear. What we're seeing is for earn capability, it's about creating that value story for the merchant appropriately. And then it's just putting the rails in place to manage the ability to convert your currency and use anywhere. So it does exist. We do see it. We're running programs in Australia where you can make a choice in the store of cash, points, a combination of points and cash. We're looking at ways that you can do it quickly across the US, across Europe. We see the likes of American Express are offering that. So there are a range of offers. Some are lighter touch, where you can get a broader merchant base. Others are a deeper integration with specific key merchants. So I think it's coming. We know the model's there. We know the appetite from consumers is there. It's something we're working and investing in. And in fact, recently we brought together our commerce team and our card linking team together into Value Dynamics, which actually brings together the world of payments, the world of currency, to really bring that blend, capturing the data and delivering the value to customer, program, and merchant.
Well, that's sort of, it's kind of interesting to a certain extent in understanding how loyalty is evolving, but the tech on the underlying, one of the themes we've heard in a couple of the other sessions earlier today is that integration into the tech stack for travel companies has been for many years sort of like a sticking point, both technically and commercially. Is there anything about how Collinson Group has sort of adapted it on like the technical way that it integrates with other companies or otherwise to reduce the pain there?
Yeah, I think one thing we're seeing really moving forward is a headless approach. So what that means is we are surfacing APIs, and the shift in technology means that we can surface content that the programs and partners can then consume and serve to the customers in a much more flexible fashion. That means you can serve it up directly in the app of a program where customers are interacting. You can bring relevant content to them at the right moment, and you're not having people to move off to a different system. So it enables a shortening of some of the complexity and challenges, actually it gives a much better experience because it's for us to really put the content where the customer wants it and let them decide how and when they engage.
That makes sense. We have some poll results, Christopher. I'm interested for your reaction here. So our attendees say that roughly a third say the travel sector is behind the curve in loyalty programs. 44% say on track and 20% say ahead of the curve. What is your reaction?
I guess probably not to surprise, it's a bit of a spread. I think what we do see is that there is a blend within some programs that are looking to move faster. I think those in the industry are aware of the challenges, particularly technology that you highlight, of managing lots of demands on your technology teams to move things forward. That's why we look to try and support and accelerate some of that. Probably what matters most is the question of are we delivering what the customer expectation is, which I think is moving at a faster pace than pretty much any industry. And the reality today that whoever's at the forefront of delivering the best experience, the best program sets the benchmark across all industries. And really it's for us to make sure that we're all moving at the right pace to really match the expectation of customers and also learn from where people are doing it better and faster. You referenced Asia earlier.
We have time for one last question. It's an audience question. It looks like online travel agencies and message players have had less strong loyalty programs than the suppliers themselves. Why do you think that is?
I suspect there's a history of the strength of the brand and the underlying programs being established much earlier, and they've built upon that. And what we see is the flagship currencies per country quite often that really stand clear head and shoulders above others, and people will choose a primary currency. The challenge of when you have much more disparated programs is you lose true loyalty, whereas I think if you can combine in a single clearer program, that often gives you a head start. And as we see with programs developing and enhancing their offering, they're trying to stay and keep ahead.
That makes sense. Maybe we can squeeze in one more. Do you see space for a more comprehensive loyalty program that encompasses the entire journey?
I think without doubt, we are seeing a lot of programs where people are working across sectors, bringing relevant partners in, and the lifestyle piece we talked about, it's already live today where people are working with mobility partners and seeking relevant people through the journey to work with to create a more integrated program rewarding members throughout the journey.
That makes sense. Christopher, thank you so much for joining us at Skift Global Forum. I enjoyed this talk.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.